Yeah, there's definitely times where I feel very overwhelmed, but I think because of, the military and the Navy, not saying like I feel like I'm better at compartmentalizing or like accepting that I'm not in control. I feel like, of course, like it's just more like expected. Like, of course you get traded. Of course we have to move. Of course, the visas aren't working. Of course, we have to figure out how to rent an apartment when we don't have a social security number or credit in another country. Of
Yeah.
course. So it's kind of like not expecting the hiccups, but understanding that the unexpected is always going to come. So it's just
Yeah.
like, okay, we got this.
You're listening to Breaking the Ice podcast, a podcast that I created in 2020 to connect women within the hockey world. My name's Devin Dodaro, my husband's Charlie Dodaro, and we've played literally all over the world. We have 2 kids, 2 dogs, and let's just say hockey has taken my world by storm. What I've learned is that this community and these experiences are very specific, and you should not have to go through this alone. Through this podcast, I share the tools, resources, do's, don'ts, and what's helped me along the way while continuing to learn from each and every one of you. So lace them up and tune in for episodes twice a month. And make sure to follow the page on Instagram at Breaking the Ice Pod. Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to the podcast. So happy you're here today. I am sitting outside of an appointment for my son right now, and I was like, I'm going to record this intro. Of course, it happens to start pouring rain, and then my computer is... there is something about technology issues. Like, I can figure stuff out with social media. I can do all the things, but if it comes to like a technical issue with my phone or computer, I feel like a dinosaur. I cannot figure it out, and it is the most frustrating thing ever. But anyways, we're back on track. I'm here. I'm going to do a quick intro because it took me a bit to figure that all out while he was in his appointment. But it is maybe a month into the season, or actually no, it's like 2 months into the season for a lot of people that are in Europe, and then the season is starting up like right now for people that are in North America. So if you did not see on my Instagram, we signed in Idaho, which is where we live right now. So we are so excited to be here. I am going to do a solo episode soon so I can share all the details about how and why and how this came to fruition, because I feel like a lot of people were shocked about it. I mean, obviously, I wasn't packing up to leave and doing that whole thing, so maybe some people caught on, but I feel very fortunate to be able to do what we're doing. I'm soaking it all in. I'm embracing it. It's going to take some adjustments for sure because the schedule is just very different, and there's a lot more times that my husband is going to be gone, a lot more on me in terms of like home and, kids and all that thing. So we're kind of in the process of making that transition from summer to season right now. This is like the last week of really our summer. And I told my husband, I'm like, next weekend is mine. Like, next weekend is all mine. Whatever I want to do, wherever I want to go, if I need to go here, like, I'm doing it, because the next 2 weeks of training camp are actually complete insanity. So I will stop myself on this because I want to give you guys like the full lowdown. I feel like I'm excited to share about it. I just need to like find the time to do it before that craziness starts. So hopefully this week I can sit down, do a solo episode, and share all the things. Side note, I am officially in my sports mom era. I've got my son in soccer, my daughter's in dance. I am like navigating all of this for the first time, and I'm kind of loving it. I was on the hunt for a while for like cute, just like little custom things I could wear to the games, like a little soccer hat or like a shirt. And I came across Poppy Pine Tees on Instagram. They have the cutest stuff ever. I wound up getting a couple of sweatshirts, hockey related too, which I know we're always looking for as hockey wives. I got a really cute sweatshirt that says "Power Plays Are on My Mind" and a custom number sweatshirt, 81, for my husband's hockey number. Anyways, I love their stuff. It's owned by a Midwest mom. Free shipping on orders over $85, but they just have anything you can imagine on there with different sports, different trends. you can use the code hockey15 for 15% off your order through 12/12. That's hockey15 for 15% off your order. Again, they just have anything you can imagine on there. Cutest stuff. Make sure to check it out. This week on the podcast, I have Clarabelle joining me, and she was so much fun to talk to. She is a former naval officer that is married to a Russian pro hockey player. So such an interesting dynamic and story, and just a very unique situation that I feel like a lot of people will be interested to hear about. They basically have had to do long distance their entire relationship, and I'm so excited for her because this is the first season that she can actually go with him and like soak in all of the hockey life things. So we chat about that. We chat about what life looked like for her, how she got into what she did, how she met her husband, and how they kind of intertwined and have made their, stressful, serious jobs work together, and how it's made their relationship a lot stronger. So super excited for this listen today. Make sure to show her some love, and thank you so much for being here. If you are a frequent listener, or maybe you're listening for the first time, I always love if you can go and leave a review on Apple Podcast of the podcast. This is just like such a game changer for podcasters. It helps boost breaking the ice up in the ratings on Apple Podcasts, so I always appreciate that. Have a happy Wednesday or whatever day you're listening to this episode on, and I will chat with you guys over on Instagram. Been on a podcast before?
I have, but only for Navy things. So this is my first podcast where I get to talk about my personal life. So,
oh my gosh, yay!
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. We'll just kind of dive in. I'm so excited to talk to you. I feel like you and your husband have such a unique story, and I have so many questions, and I'm just so excited for this conversation. So thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's definitely been interesting the last 2 years, and your podcast just hit 5 years, right? You said you started in 2020.
Yeah.
So just congratulations on that, because that must be hard. Navigating, just being a wife of a hockey player, I can't imagine the added, adding the podcast and having the kids and the dogs. I mean, just when I came across your Instagram, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad she's doing this, because this is exactly what this community needs. So congratulations.
Well, thank you so much. And that is exactly why, because I needed it too. And I'm like, I need to talk to other people so I don't feel crazy, because it's a lot. But I want to start off diving into your background. So I'd love to just hear, I guess we'll start off talking about like why you joined the Navy and how that started. And then we'll kind of go into the path of like how you met your husband and so forth. So
I grew up in San Francisco Bay Area, California. I grew up in such a diverse community, and, in my neighborhood, I was always at, my neighbor's house. It was just such a great community. And I thought to myself, like, for me, America, the country itself, is your neighborhood, your people. I'm also a first-generation American on my mom's side. My mom's family escaped Vietnam during the war, and I thought to myself, like, if this country is worth risking your life to get to, then it's worth potentially risking your life to protect. So it was kind of both, seeing how incredible an American community can be, a mix of different people coming together and just sharing that community, and also recognizing that, hey, like, the luxuries we have in the United States is not the same. Like, other people don't have that. So it was kind of like inspired me to join the service. And in high school, I was looking at colleges, and the only colleges that truly impressed me were the military colleges, because I thought to myself, the next 4 years, for my undergrad at least, I want to really maximize the opportunity to become the person that I'm going to be for the next 40 years. So I applied for a Navy National Scholarship. I was lucky enough to get it, and I attended the Virginia Military Institute for my undergrad.
And gosh.
And yeah, that was it.
So you were 17 when you started?
I was 17, and my mom and dad had to sign the contract too, because you can't legally sign up at 17, so they had to like hand me off to the Navy, and they were pretty scared about it, especially my mom.
Yes. How did they feel about that? Were they trying to persuade you one way or the other? Were they supportive of it? Like, I mean, that's a big change, I'm sure, for you, for your family.
Yeah, I mean, my dad was super proud. I'm a firstborn daughter, so he kind of raised me like a son a little bit. But my mom was freaking out. She was like, "You're gonna die. I'm so scared." She's like, "Aren't you scared?" I'm like, "Mom, I'm not scared. I'm scary." So I'm like, "Chill, Mom. I got it. It's okay."
Yeah,
So,
I can handle this.
yeah.
Amazing. So then you graduated from college, and what did your path look like after that?
Yeah, so I graduated from college and I got selected to be a Naval Flight Officer. And the best way for me to explain it is Goose, the guy that sits in the second seat of the jet. And I came down to Pensacola, Naval Air Station Pensacola, to start flight school. And during flight school is when I met my husband, Nikolai.
Wow. Okay. So how did you guys meet?
In classic Gen Z fashion on Hinge.
Okay, I was gonna say this. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, this is very interesting because I'm sure you were so busy, and obviously hockey's an insane schedule too. So I'm like, they must have met online because they
It's
have
like DoorDash for people. Like, I'm just kidding.
Yes. Okay, so you met on Hinge. Were you living in the same city? Was he playing in the city you were living? Like, how did that work, or what?
He was still in San Jose, and I dated a few guys while in flight school, and it just, wasn't the vibe. I don't know if it's just, my style clashes with Southern culture, or just I'm not into military guys. But I'm like, maybe I'll find a tech bro, because growing up in Silicon Valley, and I put my location in San Jose, and then I come across his page, and I'm like, this guy looks like he has an honest face. And I honestly wasn't, looking for anything, super serious, because I'm like, I have all these career goals. There's no way I can drag along a man. But his face was so honest, like in his picture. He has good pictures, I guess. And yeah, we kind of just started chatting from there.
Okay, so I have to know, on your Hinge profile, did you have pictures of yourself in the military? Did he know that off the bat when you met him, or was it something that you had to share with him later? Like,
I had one picture, and it's like a picture that I will never live down. It's me in front of a fighter jet.
Pull it up. Just kidding.
I'll send it to you. I was lucky enough to be attached to a fighter jet squadron one summer, and I got to ride in an F-18. And that's kind of the moment where I was like, okay, I want to be in jets. But it was one of those pictures, and he kind of knew. He was like, oh, like, what's this girl about? She's in the military. That's kind of cool. And that's kind of where we really started to bond, because you'd think, like, professional hockey and the military, like, polar opposites, but they're actually very complementary.
Interesting.
So we bonded over a lot of funny things.
Okay, so when you guys met, how did that look like with your guys' schedules initially?
Okay, so it was Christmas time, and I was on Christmas leave, and I was flying back home. I guess this is the story. And I was watching one of his games, and he played a very bad, like very poorly. Like, he was the reason for like the goal. Like,
hey, it happens to everyone.
Those happen sometimes. And I was like, oh no, like, I'm on my flight back. He's not gonna want to hang out tonight. And he Snapchats me, and he's like, I'm going to In-N-Out. And I'm like, dude, you're going to In-N-Out without me? And I'm finally home, and he picks me up. This is like 2 days before Christmas. And, I'm like, okay, this is like cute hockey player. I'm like, this is kind of weird. Like, I hop in his car, and obviously I Google searched him before. I'm like, okay, if he kills me, at least like he's not like a nobody. It looks bad on him and other people if he does something bad. And we're in and out, and like the whole drive there, I'm not looking at him, because I'm like, oh my God, I'm in my pajamas. Like, does he think like I'm cute? I'm wondering what he's thinking. Like, we don't lock eyes. We get my burger, and we park the car, and then he just looks at me. And I don't know if you've probably experienced this, like when you are waiting at the airport for your husband, and you're like looking through the crowd, like there's a bunch of noises going on, and then you see him, and then like feels like the whole world stops. He looked at me, and it felt like that moment. And it was like, oh my gosh, where have you been? I feel like I've known you. Like, I remember you from somewhere. And it was just the most surreal thing. And I was just like, oh my God, this is what people are talking about. The love thing, that's what people are talking about.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
And then 2 days later, I took him to my family Christmas. And I'm like, Mom, Dad, hear me out. You're going to think I'm crazy, but this guy's my husband. And yeah, they agreed after meeting him. So.
Wow. Well, if you know, right?
I didn't believe in that. Is that what happened to you? I did not believe in that.
Yeah, I think I knew pretty early on, like maybe not right away, but I think right after consistently hanging out a bunch of times, I'm like, okay, like I haven't felt like this before with someone. So you just kind of like, I don't know, it's like it's a gut feeling. Yeah.
It was so weird. I was like, damn it, I'm too young for this.
So were you, sorry if this is a stupid question, but were you
No.
getting deployed at all to go overseas? Like, did you have that in the back of your mind?
Thankfully, during my time in the Navy, I was not deployed, but I never had to get sent abroad. But it was in the back of my mind, like, how is he going to handle deployments?
Right.
And that's a conversation we had early on. I'm like, honey, I might, get deployed overseas on an aircraft carrier or a ship. I'm like, are you going to be okay with that? And he goes, well, it's just like me in the season, and it's not like we're going to be together anyways.
Yeah.
So we had to have those, like, very real conversations pretty early on into our relationship. But he's just so incredible and so supportive, where I feel comfortable, if that were to happen, that we would be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I'm sure those were scary conversations to have because, yeah, it's just a very unique job that you have. From his perspective, too, I'm sure he was very understanding, like you said, to the fact that, like, if that does happen, we just kind of have to roll with it together and figure out how we're going to make it work. So with your schedule, what did that look like? Where was he living? And where were you living, and how did you guys make that work initially before it got really serious?
Right. So he was still with San Jose, and I was still in Pensacola.
And where is that? Sorry.
Pensacola's in Florida. It's kind of like the Panhandle.
Okay.
It's
so you
more
were
like
far.
Alabama.
Yeah, but San Jose was still your home base, so you got to go home and visit.
Pensacola was where I was stationed, but I
But your
visited
family.
San Jose just for like leave, like vacation time.
Okay.
So home base. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. That's sorry. I know that was confusing base. I'm like, okay, that's probably not the correct way I should have phrased that. But okay, so you were there. He was in California, and then sorry,
Yes.
I totally interrupted you.
No. You're good. Where are we? Yeah. So he was in California, and I was in a flight school, and yeah, we were just doing long distance, and there's a little crisis, maybe around like February time frame, and he wasn't sure where he was going to play next, and he was getting offers in Russia, and I'm like, dude, you go ahead, honey, but I can't go there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
And it kind of like put pressure on our relationship a lot, where we had, he had to make a decision for himself, where it's like, okay, he's getting opportunities elsewhere, but that's not compatible with, the person he wants to be with, not just, work-wise, but like, the
Right.
we're worlding right now. So
Yes.
yeah. So that was kind of scary. I remember calling my best friend crying. I'm like, of course this guy has to be Russian. Of course this guy gets like, opportunities abroad. But thankfully, after thinking and like hard discussion, we were just like, okay, like it's better for both of us to stay stateside. He ended up playing with the Pens, Wilkes-Barre Scranton, and then he got traded to Grand Rapids. So he's kind of moved all over the place in the last year. And then my moves involved going to Chicago. Great Lakes is kind of where all the enlisted personnel get trained in the Navy. So I was kind of back and forth from Pensacola and Chicago. So we've kind of moved everywhere.
So you guys have been doing long distance pretty much your whole relationship. Okay, and how has that been for you? Because that is hard. I've done it, and I did not last very long, and I don't have the military lifestyle on top of it too, so I cannot imagine.
People ask me all the time, like, how do you balance your husband's stuff and your own stuff? And I'm like, my honest answer is, I don't. Like,
it's hard.
I pick up one thing at a time, and I'm sure you relate to this. Is like when you finally get a moment to like have a break, all you want to do is be lazy. You don't want to like go see a bunch of people and do all these things. I want to sit on the couch, eat my snacks, and do nothing. And yeah, that was just kind of like I was using all my leave to go, visit him, and it was, great to have a break. And I just had this internal guilt inside myself where it's like I could be going to San Jose to see my family, or I could be taking these vacations, but no, I have to sacrifice that and go see my husband or my boyfriend at the time. So it was very difficult, and we both have stressful jobs. So there's a big learning curve, like figuring out how to navigate conversations where like you're stressed about so much going on already at work, where you have to hold space for your partner to like let it out and vent to. So,
right.
Yeah.
How do you guys compartmentalize that together? Are you able to, when you come home, do you feel like because that, like, I'm sure there's a lot of heaviness that also comes with your job and stress. And how are you able to, because I think it's the same for hockey players, like in a different, very different way. I think the lifestyles are actually similar. Like I've even talked to like military wives and they're like, it is a very similar lifestyle. Obviously there's a whole nother added element layer that's very different. But yeah, how do you, I don't know. I feel like that's just such a concept for me that I'm like, that would just be so hard to like turn that off because it is heavy. It's not always, you know, gonna be something that's easy to just kind of let go of when you come home.
Exactly. It took me a few years to compartmentalize. When I was at VMI, Virginia Military Institute in college, my younger brother had open heart surgery. And it was during COVID, and a lot of things were going on the military college side where I asked, you know, the administration, like, hey, can I go home to California and visit my brother? He is going through a hard time right now, going through surgery. And they're like, no, like, you need to do this and this and this. And I was like, oh, okay, like, I'm not in control of like what I get to do. So I need to focus on one thing at a time. Yeah. And there's a lot of little things like that happened during my time in the military where I kind of like was forced to compartmentalize. Like, I'm not going to perform well on this test if I'm stressed about X, Y, and Z. Yeah. For my husband, on the other hand, it's a question he has to answer. Yeah. I don't know if you experience this too with your husband, but they're just like very like passionate, very all in with their hockey. So yes, when something's a stressor, it seeps into other things.
Yes, 100%. I think most people could probably say that. I know some guys are good about turning it off, but I think it is normal when you're going through something difficult, and you should be able to like come home and talk to your partner, of course. So do you feel like that lack of control, and then combined with the lack of control of like the hockey lifestyle, do you feel like being in the Navy helped you navigate that better? Or do you feel like both sides of it makes you kind of feel out of control sometimes? Because like for me, I often can like spiral about stuff when there's too many things that feel out of my control. Like, where are we going? Where are we living? Who's getting the visa? Who are the kids going to be in school? Where are the school? Like, it's like so many things that can make you feel like I have no control of my life, you know? So it's like, do you feel like your job helped you navigate that better, or do you feel like it's like too much sometimes for you to handle? I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's definitely times where I feel very overwhelmed, but I think because of, you know, the military and the Navy, not saying like I feel like I'm better at compartmentalizing or like accepting that I'm not in control. I feel like, of course, like it's just more like expected. Like, of course you get traded. Of course we have to move. Of course, you know, the visas aren't working. Of course, you know, we have to figure out how to rent an apartment when we don't have a social security number or credit in another country. Of course. So it's kind of like not expecting the hiccups, but understanding that the unexpected is always going to come. So it's just like, okay, we got this.
Yeah. Have you ever had a time where you've flown out to visit him and he's gotten traded or called up? Okay. I was going to say, that would be brutal.
That would blow.
With your leave, I'm sure you don't get like ample time to just take off, and then to like have to deal with that would be just a complete nightmare.
That would be terrible. I'm so glad. And I actually just finished my Navy chapter, so I don't think that will happen in the future.
Okay. So what does life look like for you right now? Are you currently in the Navy?
I've been out for about a month now. I'm just a veteran. I've been promoted to a veteran civilian.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm going to graduate school, so.
Wow. Yeah. Good for you. For what?
Public relations at USC.
Oh my gosh. Good for you. That's amazing. My dad went to UCLA, so we're like not we're not USC people, but I can appreciate. My cousin went there actually, though. It's a great school.
That's awesome. Yeah. It'll be online, so I'm like, I can support my husband and do my little thing on my laptop.
Yeah. Okay. So are you going to move with him?
Yes.
So is this the first season you guys are going to go together?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I'm so excited.
Okay. So how did you guys get to that decision?
I had some dealing with some health issues, and I was actually medically separated from the Navy. Don't neglect your health, guys. But I was on like this 6-month treatment plan, and unfortunately, like my body didn't fully recover, so I had to medically separate from the Navy.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but this past summer, he was able to come visit me in Pensacola while I was still in during his off season. So I was fortunate enough that he was able to see me in my like work mode.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so now you guys are in San Jose. Does he know where he's going next season?
We're gonna be heading up to Vancouver
Okay.
for the Canucks for training camp. We don't know which roster he'll be on yet, but to be
Okay. Who's their affiliate?
Abbotsford?
Okay, that's in Canada then too. So it's not
Yes.
far.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so you'd be
Thank God.
so one or the other, so you guys will kind of be in the same general area.
Yes.
Okay, well that is so exciting. How do you feel about being together and putting an end to long distance?
I'm just excited to cook for him, like to be honest.
To feel like having it just a regular, or more regular, I guess, than what you're used to relationship.
Right. Yeah, and I geek out. Like I wake up next to him, I'm like, hee hee, he's next to me. Like hee hee, we get to go to Costco together. Like it's just
Do regular things.
yeah, do regular things, and it's just so nice, and I'm so excited for this new adventure with him. And the last month has been kind of difficult, you know, emotionally and mentally, because closing my Navy chapter was, I mean, I'm still going through the motions a little
Yeah.
bit. But he's been an absolute rock star in supporting me, and yeah, I just love every day with him. It's great. And you
Oh,
appreciate it more. After the long distance, you kind of appreciate the little things more.
totally, totally. What are some things that you've learned in the Navy that have kind of helped you enter this lifestyle, or maybe mindsets that you're taking with you going into next season, being together in the same place,
Okay.
even though there might be craziness or, you know, maybe he's going to be up, down, like who knows? Like what can you take with you?
I think the biggest lesson that I'm taking away from the Navy going into the season is just having grace for others and myself. The military and the Navy especially, I feel like there's so many expectations you put on yourself and other people to perform, to act a certain way. And it's just like, why is everyone so serious? Like, can we just like have fun and like, you know, like
Yeah.
relax?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Trying to be lazy. But, you know, just like having grace with myself, it's going to be a new world to navigate. I was in a primarily male dominated industry, and now I get like, you know, 15 girlfriends, like future girlfriends, and I'm like so excited to meet them. So it's going to be, you know, interesting to adjust. But the main takeaway is just like having grace and being flexible and being open-minded, and, you know, not letting, you know, certain preconceptions prevent me from, you know, having relationships with certain people or experiencing what I want to experience.
I love that. Do you feel like how has that looked like for you coming into the settings with the other girls? Like do you feel like you've had a positive experience with that so far?
Definitely. I think everything's been super positive. Like, I love meeting all the different girls. I think everyone's amazing. And there's times I wish, like, I think it was the Pens, and I was like, I'm going to make everyone dumplings. And then we got traded. I'm like, I never got to make anyone dumplings. So yeah, I'm just excited to, you know, invite girls over and cook for them, and, you know, talk about their lives and like what their experiences are, and build another community.
So in the Navy, were there a lot of women that you were able to get to know where you were living?
I was pretty much only friends with the girls.
Okay.
But I think it's like about 20% female in the Navy. And then at my military college, it was like 10% female. So yeah, it's an interesting environment, because it's like, yes, like these girls are your friends, but sometimes it's like people want to compete. And I think I learned in my second year of college, where it's like, why am I trying so hard to compete? They're not my competition, they're my team. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I learned that early on.
Yeah. Okay. So did you feel like you had a community there, or not so much?
In the Navy,
Yeah.
not so much, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah. That's tough. That's really tough. Well, hopefully coming into this lifestyle now and how things are going to kind of shift a little bit for you, hopefully like you'll find that community within this lifestyle and have that group, because it totally like makes such a difference. And yeah, I love your mindset going into it, and I'm sure you're excited to have that finally, and also have that common ground that you can relate to people with going
Yeah.
through the lifestyle together. So that'll be really nice for you.
Any advice? What do I do? Like I feel like I'm like an imposter. I come up and I'm like, every day I dress like a little boy, but today I get to wear makeup and look pretty and like support my husband. I'm like, I don't belong here.
Leggings and a sweatshirt, and now, yeah. No, I mean, I think just putting yourself out there and, you know, making an effort, I think that's just like, that goes a long way. And that's what I've learned. And I think for me, I try to go in with no expectations, which is hard. Because once you have like a really good group of people, it's hard not to be like, I want it to be like this all the time. So it's like going into it and maybe being like, not everybody's going to be best friends, but as long as you find like a couple of people that you feel like you can like connect to and talk to, or if you're having a hard time, like that's just the best feeling, you know, and having people there that when you're going through like, you know, the 10-day road trips or like, you know, you need help with something. It's like just knowing there's a couple people there that like really genuinely have your back is like so good. So just, yeah, putting yourself out there is mainly my biggest piece of advice, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah. And no, it's overwhelming.
It's not normal to be rowdy at the games is what I'm at my husband's hockey game. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, let's go.
I know. I think it's different everywhere. I mean, I think it depends on the vibe. I mean, I think if you have a fun vibe with everybody, why not? You know, or just do you, right? Like, who cares what people think? And the right people will be around you. That's what I think. But yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's so exciting. You guys can finally be together. And then you mentioned, I know he's Russian. So how does that look like with like his visa situation? Like, is he able to stay all summer? Does he go back to Russia? You mentioned that was kind of like, why does this guy have to be Russian? Like, has that been like a smooth journey for you guys? Like, what does that look like? Fall is hands down my favorite season to style. Not just for me, but especially for my kids. There's just something about layers, cozy textures, and all the neutrals that makes getting them dressed so much fun. That's why I always go to Little Bipsy. Their fall collection just dropped, and it's full of these modern, comfy pieces that look good and actually hold up. Everything is designed by a mom, which means the styles are cute, but they're also practical and made to last. My kids live in these clothes all season long. They look so cute at the hockey games. And I love knowing that they will still look good wash after wash. If you're refreshing your kids' closets for back to school and fall, definitely check them out. And Little Bipsy is giving Breaking the Ice listeners 20% off your first purchase. Just head to littlebipsy.com and use the code BreakingTheIce20 at checkout.
Thankfully, he's been on a work visa for the States, but because we got married, he'll be able to get a green card.
Okay.
I always refer to us as the 90-Day Fiancé couple. I don't know if you know that show. It's like my guilty show.
90-Day Fiancé. That's hilarious.
Yeah, his visa for the United States is ending. He'll be in Canada on a Canadian visa.
Okay.
But we're going to have to do the green card paperwork eventually.
Yeah, and that I heard is not very fun, but hopefully.
Hopefully we can pay someone to do that.
Yeah, okay. So does he go back and visit at all? Is his family over there?
He visited Russia 2 years ago for the summer.
Okay.
While I was attached to a command in Great Lakes, Illinois, the Chicago area.
Okay.
So I spent 6 months in Chicago, and he spent, I think it was like 2.5 months in Russia. So he was in Russia while he was in Russia visiting his family and training.
Okay. And have you met his family?
I have. They flew out. His parents flew out. They drove down from Grand Rapids to Pensacola, and I was still at work. They got to the Airbnb in Pensacola. I was still at work. And I come to the Airbnb. I'm like in my uniform, and I'm like hugging them. I made like a bunch of KGB jokes. I probably shouldn't have, but it was just so magical and special. But yeah, they got to visit and see his wife at work, and I was very fortunate that they were able to fly out and come visit him and come visit me.
Is there any practices that you do, like any self-care? Like, what keeps you rooted?
Humility is big. I've made a lot of mistakes in the military, like very, very embarrassing mistakes. So sometimes I'm just like replaying those moments in my head. I'm like, hey, everyone sucks a little bit sometimes too. Yeah. And then just like not taking things super seriously. Yeah. Because like at the end of the day, you know, we're all just people. Yeah. We're on a rock floating in the middle of space. Like, yeah. I think there's only a few things that truly matter in life, and like love, happiness, family, like those are important.
Yeah. I love that. And did you have any stereotypes about the hockey lifestyle, like when you initially met your boyfriend at the time, husband now?
Like stereotypes about him?
Yes, like were you like, okay, he's a hockey player, I don't know if I want to get, like, because a lot of us, I think, have that off the bat, just based on, like, stereotypes.
When I first saw his profile, yes, his face was honest, and I was like, oh my god, watch him turn into the greatest a-hole ever. Like, he's going to be so cocky, he's going to be like this and that, such a show-off, like super flashy, but he wasn't.
Yeah, right.
And he proved me wrong.
Yeah.
I think that was the main thing, is just like my stereotype of, you know, professional athlete, but
yeah,
you know, he wasn't like that, and it's great.
Do you feel like people have stereotypes about you and what you do?
In the military?
Yeah.
Yes, most definitely. I think there's this added layer of me being a girl in the military that they have stereotypes about. And then there's like just me being a military officer in general, thinking that like maybe I'm like cold or have a stick up my butt, but I don't.
Yeah.
I'm just a girl.
Yeah.
So
I haven't gotten that vibe at all from you, so.
Yeah, so I think, you know, especially, you know, my mom, when I told her like I'm going to join the military, she was like, heck no, like you're gonna be boots on the ground in the Middle East, like you're getting shot at. I'm like, actually no.
Do you feel like the men in the military were like treated you different because you're a girl?
I think, I don't want to like group all men.
Yeah.
But there was some that I think definitely, what's the word, underestimated me and my abilities.
Yeah.
Just because I am a girl.
Yeah.
And, you know, I thankfully have had the opportunity to prove them wrong, but yeah, there was quite a lot of that, especially in college.
How did you handle that?
It was a lot of crying at first.
Yeah.
It was just pure frustration of like, why am I not getting treated for who I am, or why am I not being seen for who I am? And at that point, I just accepted it. The results are going to show for itself. Who you are is going to shine. And if people have problems with that, then that's a problem that they have to deal with, not you.
Yeah. What would you say is like something you've learned about yourself while balancing these two very different worlds?
In hockey and the military?
Yes.
I think I've stepped into my femininity a lot more since meeting Nikolai. And being in the military, I kind of pushed that part of myself down and thought the only way I could be successful is to be hyper-masculine. And meeting him, you know, I got to go to his games and like dress cute, or like he would do super gentleman things around me, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I feel like a lady. So the biggest thing that I learned about myself is I don't have to suppress a part of me down to be successful in another area. I can just be completely me, whether that's, you know, me being feminine and loving makeup, or me like running past the guys on a PT test. Like I can be all of it. I don't have to neglect parts of myself to be accepted in one community. And if they don't accept me, screw them.
That's awesome. I love that so much. And I can see why that would be difficult, to feel like you have to like put yourself into like boxes, basically, like, okay, I'm shutting this part off now because I'm here, and then this, you know. So I love that you've been able to step into that, and that's a great answer. What would you say is like the craziest part of this lifestyle that you did not expect?
About the hockey lifestyle?
Yes.
Honestly, the internal politics and the level of professionalism that varies between team to team. I think some teams are very good about taking care of their players and their families, and some teams not so much. And I'm just kind of like shocked by that, because I'm like thinking in my head, like in the Navy, at certain commands, we don't treat our people like that. And it's kind of like, wow, the military is a baseline for treating people now.
Yeah.
I mean, you see your husband, you see your boyfriend working so hard at something, and they don't get treated for what they offer, or like something happens that you hear, or like some drama on the side, and you're just like, aren't we supposed to be a team? Like,
I know.
Come on, guys.
Especially in North America, North America, there's a lot of politics involved with hockey. Like, it's like, who's drafted, and like those people need to get played. I mean, I'm sure if the hockey player listens to this, they're gonna be like, you have no clue what you're talking about. But there's so many things that like go on behind the scenes that like it's so like it's frustrating, I think, in ways that, especially as a wife, to like watch that sometimes and be like, doesn't seem fair. And like at the end of the day, I feel like I always tell myself like, this is a business, like, you know, is this way. But like, I agree with you, and even just like living in Europe, it is vastly different where you go, even within the league. Oh yeah, oh my gosh, yes.
Do they like take care of people better over there, or like what's like
Europe, you're not dealing as much with like trades and call-ups and send-downs and like all of that stuff. Like you don't really, that doesn't really happen.
there's more consistency?
Yes, there's more stability in that sense where you're like, if you're signing somewhere, you
I gotta get him over there.
typically know that like you're gonna be there for the season, usually.
Okay.
Whereas I feel like in North America, there's just a lot of movement. Like you just don't really, you never really know. Like you could get traded randomly. Like you could, I mean, you just don't really have those roots. So I think that's different. But yeah, with Europe, there's other stuff where I think money is like a very deciding factor for a lot of things. Like which teams have money, how they want to use it. If it's like, there's some weird stuff with money over there. Like it's not as, you know, professional in that aspect. We don't have players unions over there. But like, yeah, so technically like you don't have.
Was it like an NHLPA?
No. Not to get on a whole team.
Okay, maybe not go to Europe.
Yeah, but that's why you do your research, and there are a lot of good teams over there. It's usually more like teams that are just sketchier, like money's not like, oh, can we pay you in cash? Like, no, you may not.
Well, do you have to pay taxes on that?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Oh my gosh, that's too funny. Okay. What's your take on moving? Do you like moving? Does it
moving in general?
Out? Yes.
I think because we have no kids, it's super easy. So we love exploring new places. I love it. I've lived out, you know, a few boxes for like the duration of my military career, so it's fine with me. But Nikolai, on the other hand, he hates moving. He just wants to be settled. But
yeah.
I love moving. I love meeting new people and seeing new places and trying new foods. I love eating at different restaurants. So it's like when you move, you get an excuse to like try all the restaurants over there.
You balance each other out then, because it's good to have,
I hope so,
that mindset going into it, because you might move a lot and might be what life looks like. Are you guys younger?
He's 27, I'm 23.
Okay. Oh my gosh, you're 23. You're so mature. I'm sure that's the Navy.
I don't know. I'm just burnt out. It's not maturity. Yeah, I feel like there's such a big similarity between military spouses and hockey wives too.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think it feels like hockey wives, like it's, the comparison to me feels like it's disrespectful almost to like
to military spouses.
Because like, not disrespectful, maybe that's not the right choice of words, but I'm like, you have to worry about like your spouse dying or like not hearing from them for months at a time. Yeah. It's like we don't have to deal with that. So I think that is like the added layer to it, because but like on the backhand of like, okay, but we also deal with like the moving and like the unknowns and the uncertainty. So I think that part is the same, but yeah, obviously there's just a lot more that, you know, spouses of the military have to worry about.
Okay. I feel like any woman in like a supportive spouse role, like regardless of the career of the husband, it's just like so difficult. I'm a little scared, not gonna lie.
Of being in the lifestyle?
Not being in the lifestyle, but like, am I gonna support him? Am I gonna be able to support him how he needs? And you know, I've been doing my own thing for so long, and I just feel like, am I giving him enough? Like that's kind of like some of the guilt I have. Is like I have all these dreams, I'm obviously gonna chase them, but am I giving him enough? Like, am I giving him enough of my time, my like care? So I feel like, I don't know, it's like something that I worry about, a little piece of anxiety.
I think that's like, the fact that you're even thinking of that shows that you have like that awareness, and like that's all you can ask for. Like, I mean, you're allowed to chase your own dreams and you're allowed to like pursue what you want. And I think that is like what is going to strengthen your relationship, because if you weren't doing that, then maybe you would be like resentful of like having to do that. And so like continue to chase after what you want to do, and it'll always work out in the end. And yeah, but I think that's normal. I think everybody goes through like little, you know, ebbs and flows and waves through the lifestyle, and just like, you know, figuring out who you are and what you want to do while also supporting your husband, and vice versa. I think we always put so much focus on supporting them, but like it's a relationship, it's a two-way street. So it's not only just like doing that for them, but how, like, you know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's what I loved about me, you know, still working in Pensacola, being stationed at Pensacola, and him coming to visit me in the off season. It's like, okay, you're doing the dishes now, like, put on the apron, you're gonna vacuum. And there was a point where I like came home from work after a long, exhausting day, and the house wasn't clean, and I'm like, honey, when I come home, I want a clean house. And it was just kind of like, The roles are switched.
Yeah.
And I gave him a list of things. He's like, what's this list? I'm like, these are all the events you have to show up at. And guess what? You're probably going to be the only man at the table because you're going to sit with all the wives. Like, welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Right? Oh my gosh.
So
that's
it's kind of like, you know, what's it called? Freaky Friday, where it's like, okay, like, okay, honey, when I come home, I want my chicken pot pie. Like,
where's the dinner in the oven?
Where's the dinner?
Yeah,
the house
this
needs
is
to be clean.
unacceptable. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that's actually true though. I mean, I'm sure you guys have figured out more of a balance, but like, yeah, you're a woman with an intense job and it's like, I don't know, like, I mean, that's a whole nother story is like gender roles, right? Is like...
Mm-hmm. Especially, you know, him with being from Russia, like, they're a little bit more traditional. So I think he definitely stepped out of his comfort zone. And also, like, there were moments where, like, sometimes he just didn't want to go to my events. And, like, sometimes I feel that about his events, too. I'm like, I don't want to go, but I'm going to show up for you and bring my face because, like, that's what you need. I'm like, honey, this is my last month in the Navy. I need you to be here. I need you to support me. And I think he kind of respected the supportive role more because he experienced that. So I'm like...
Yeah.
Glad that happened.
Yeah, I love that though. That's really unique and cool that he is able to kind of see you in your element. And it is similar in that aspect. And he can maybe like, you know, you both can learn from each other in different ways and apply it to how to support each other like in the future. So that's
Definitely.
really cool. If you could give advice, and I ask this question on most episodes, advice, it could be anything. It could be just to women in general about following your dreams. It could be about anything. I know you have a clip on your Instagram that was so sweet about that. But if you could give advice to anyone listening, any women, doesn't have to be hockey advice, just what would it be?
I feel like just go big. Go big for yourself. Go big. YOLO, we only live one life, like classic millennial catchphrase. But like, it's true, like go big. Like, why not? During my, you know, health treatment, I got into modeling and it was just like, obviously I'm not Bella Hadid, but like, I just want to feel comfortable in my body and like feel confident in my body again. And I got some backlash from, you know, some of my friends in the military community. I'm just like, why the hell not? Like, I'm going to go big for myself. I'm going to do it big. Why not? So don't do it big is my advice. Do it big.
And if anybody wants to reach out to you or follow you, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram or LinkedIn, but preferably Instagram. First name and last name. It's kind of long, but Clarabelle, and then the crazy last name, Knyzhov, Knyzhov. There's a lot of consonants in there. I understand.
We'll put it in the show notes. Direct click. Well, thank you so much for coming on Breaking the Ice. I had so much fun talking to you. Thank you for your service. I have so much respect for you and what you've chosen to do for our country. And I'm excited to continue to follow your journey and see what next year looks like for you guys. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me and for building this platform in this community. I feel a little bit better about entering the hockey world completely because of your platform. So thank you.
You're so sweet. Thank you so much.